Welcome back to Fearless Empowered Women, episode 7. I'm Eunice.
And I'm Veronica. And today's conversation is one we believe that every woman needs to hear.
We're talking about bold leadership, not the buzzword version, not the LinkedIn headline, but what it really takes to lead as a woman.
Absolutely. This episode is perfectly timed for Q1, when performance reviews, promotions, new goals, and leadership conversations are happening behind closed doors.
That's right. And here's the truth, leadership isn't about being loud, tougher, or more polished. It's about clarity. It's about courage and the willingness to stand in who you are, even when it's uncomfortable.
Yeah. So let's start really by redefining what bold leadership actually means. Because for a lot of women, bold has been interpreted or misinterpreted.
Exactly. We've been taught that leadership looks one way, decisive, assertive, always confident. And when we don't fit that mold, we question whether we belong.
Yeah, but bold leadership isn't about mimicking someone else's style. It's about owning your voice, even when it doesn't sound like anyone else's. Own it.
That's correct. I think it's very typical to kind of just assume that it has to be one way because that's what's been projected. But board leadership is saying the hard things in the room. It's setting boundaries. It's making decisions rooted in values, not fear, not approval.
Yeah, because sometimes bold leadership is quiet, right? It's steady, it's consistent, and it's choosing integrity over applause. And for me, when I think about different bold leaders or leaders who have impacted my life, these are the different qualities that I've seen that have stuck. And I've said, oh, this is a great leader for me, but we'll talk more about.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. I think my favorite manager so far is someone who's very calm and quiet. He's not loud at all. He's very assertive and he knows exactly what he's talking about and is rooted in his care for his people. I know this is one of my favorite leadership sayings that says whoever think is leading but who doesn't care about the people is leading is just taking a work because nobody is following you, to be honest. You're just on this journey by yourself. So this guy is very, very, very people oriented. And he pulls, we all go along with his visions. We're all keyed in and he gets things done. So one thing we don't talk about enough is the inner work leadership requires. You have to work on yourself. It's not only about just bossing people around.
Yeah, because before you can lead others, you have to be able to lead yourself. Yeah.
That means confronting your self-doubt. And we're back to what we talked about in season 1, imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And the pressure to be everything to everyone.
Yes, yeah. That imposter syndrome is the topic, but if you haven't heard it, if you're still sort of struggling with it, watch episode 1 and let us know. But yeah, like you said, it's confronting your self-doubt, but leading yourself, being in a position and feeling confident to move ahead, move full steam ahead. So with that, a lot of women basically overperform, they overgive, and they overextend because we think that's what leadership demands. Is that the case?
I think I agree. I totally agree that that's what we've been made to believe. But now we know that real leadership requires discernment because you need to be able to kind of read between the lines and figure out what's really going on and knowing when to step in, and when to step back. Sometimes it's not about stepping in, it's about actually stepping back to analyze the situation and knowing that rest is not weakness. I think we're very big on that on this podcast, that we need to always think about our mental health, our physical health, and our rest.
Yeah. Knowing also that you don't need to shrink or soften yourself or your ambitions to be respected. That's a huge part of being a leader, just knowing that you can be quiet or be silent at a particular time and not feel like you're shrinking yourself. I think everything has its time. And as leaders, that is one of the key things to know when to do things and when to.
I love that. I really do. I love that. So let's get practical.
Mhm.
Leadership shows up everywhere, not just in title. Sometimes you're not the positional leader, but you're the one who's most influential.
Yeah. I think it shows up in how you manage your team. Most importantly, right? That is the defining point of a leader. It shows in
Mm,
how you manage a team, how you advocate for them, how you advocate for yourself, and how you
mm.
navigate conflicts. And, overall, really how you make decisions under pressure. That is what defines a leader.
Yes, yes, under pressure. Because I've seen people like become something else when the pressure is on. And I think
Mm.
that's one good test of a good leader.
Right.
You know, who are you? How do you show up under pressure?
Yes.
And both leadership might look like asking for the promotion or saying no to something that no longer aligns with your vision.
Yeah, it might look like mentoring another woman, even when you're still figuring things out for yourself. And we are definitely big on mentorship here. We believe that even in this podcast, we're hoping to mentor or help woman, just by, imparting some knowledge to you all. But mentorship is a big thing for sure.
Yes. I mean, we need to keep paying it forward because
Yeah.
that's how to get our world better. That's how to build a community of strong leaders,
Mm,
women especially. And it definitely looks like trusting your judgment, even when it's questioned,
mm,
especially when it's questioned, I would say, actually.
yeah. And here's a reminder, right? We all need today. You don't have to You don't have to know all the answers. You don't have to have all
Mm.
the answers to be a leader. You just have to be willing to take the responsibility. And
Hmm.
that's something that people forget. You don't have to have all the answers. People think that a leader has to have all the answers, know what to do here and there. But no, you just need to be in a position to feel like, okay, we're going to figure this out, even if it's together. You don't have to do it alone. And leaders know when to delegate and when to pull people in to make it work. So
That's
don't be
right.
afraid.
That's very right. And especially how to deliver results through people. Like that is
Mm,
one strong characteristic of a good leader. How do you know what team member will be the best to help deliver a particular vision for the team? And as we move through Q1, this is a powerful moment to reflect.
yeah. Ask yourself, where am I being called to lead more boldly?
Is it your career? Is it your business? Or is it your home? It might even be within your siblings and or your community. Where is that calling coming from?
Yeah. And what would you change if you stopped waiting for permission and started
Mm,
trusting yourself?
I love that. I think we need to pause and think about that. Bold leadership doesn't require perfection, which is one thing that we as women struggle with. It just requires presence and growing
Mm.
vulnerable enough to go to wait. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like what you said there because I think a lot of the time our fears come out of feeling like we have to be perfect at something, otherwise
Mm.
we won't be able to achieve it. And I think from all the different episodes and conversations we've had in the last, 2 seasons, you don't have to be perfect, right? I can't say it enough, but you do not have to be perfect. You just have to be willing, confident, and bold enough to get started and to put yourself in that situation where fear is not holding you back. Obviously, and courage isn't the absence of fear. It's, choosing action anyway, choosing action regardless.
Absolutely. Learning, we're all learning to
Mm,
be okay with not being okay, to be okay
yeah.
with starting, even when you're not
Yeah.
100% sure. You will grow through it. You will learn your lessons. That's how to grow. If you stay in growth will never come. And that's not what we're all about
Yeah.
in this community. We're all about leaning in. We're all about growing. We're all about raising our hands for, which is the same thing as speaking up or taking lead roles in things. And sometimes it may not be positional leadership. It might be just you are the influence. You're the voice of influence within that group or for a particular circumstance. And so if today's episode resonated with you, take it as a confirmation. You're more capable than you think. You're definitely more.
Yeah. I said we mentioned earlier about talking about leadership styles, and I think you briefly mentioned the leadership styles that stood out for you. And for me, it's all about having a leader who can see what you don't see, or who's able to bring out all the qualities in you that you didn't even see. Right? Does it mean that leader's perfect? No. Does it mean that leader isn't as good as you? They pushed the best in you? No, it means that they are willing to help you grow. And when I look at all the leaders who has led me or encouraged or inspired me over the years, I think about just their ability to be calm in the midst of storm. I think about their confidence to lead and encourage me to do better.
Mm.
And because sometimes leaders, they're going to have to tell you right and wrong. So the ability to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and the ability to make you want to do better. I think the best leaders are those who want to impart knowledge into you, who want to make a difference in your life, who want to inspire you to do better. And when they are gone, you see the benefits of all that they've passed on. They leave that legacy. So leadership is important.
I like that. Thank you for sharing that. So,
Mhm.
share this episode with a woman who's stepping into her power, navigating leadership decisions, or questioning whether she belongs.
Absolutely. And join us next week as we continue these real conversations designed to help women grow, designed to help you lead and live boldly.
Yes. And until then, keep showing up, keep
Okay.
trusting yourself, and keep shining fearlessly.
Yes. Thank you. Till next week. Yeah.